Have you ever tried to truly think about forever? Not just a long time like a lifetime or 1,000 years, but forever. An endless, unbroken line of moments stretching into an eternity that never ever stops. It is a concept our minds struggle to grasp. We are creatures of beginnings and endings. We live our lives by the clock, by the rising and setting of the sun. But what if time had no end? What if you were faced with a single, unchanging reality that would last for all of eternity? Now let us add another layer to this impossible thought. What if that forever was filled with pain? Not just a dull ache, but the most profound suffering you can possibly conceive. This is the fundamental question at the heart of hell. We often use the word hell casually. We speak of a hellish commute or a day from hell. The idea of a painful afterlife is not unique to one culture. It is a story humanity has told itself in many different forms, across many different lands. Each version paints a unique picture of damnation, a blueprint for eternal suffering. In the Christian tradition, hell is often depicted as a lake of fire, a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth as described in the Bible. Here, the punishment is both physical, from the unquenchable flames, and spiritual, representing a complete and eternal separation from the divine. In the Islamic tradition, the concept of Jahannam presents a similarly terrifying vision. The Quran describes a place with 7 gates, each leading to a different level of suffering. It is a place of scorching fires, boiling water, and scalding winds. The skin of the damned is burned away, only to be replaced with new skin, so the torment can be felt anew, over and over again. The ancient Greeks had their own version of a grim underworld. While Hades was largely a shadowy, neutral place for the dead, a deeper realm called Tartarus was reserved for the truly wicked. Sisyphus was doomed to forever push a boulder up a hill, only to watch it roll back down. These punishments are not just about pain, they are about eternal frustration and futility. To understand a place of ultimate torture, we must first understand torture itself. What does it mean for something to be unbearable? Human pain is a complex experience, far beyond a simple physical sensation. It has layers. There is the raw, physical dimension, the searing heat of a flame, the piercing of a sharp object. Our nervous system is designed to send these powerful signals to our brain, screaming that something is wrong. Our bodies have a limit. We can endure a certain amount of physical stress before our systems begin to fail. But an eternal hell proposes a body that can never fail, that can never find the release of unconsciousness or death. But physical pain is only one part of the equation. There is also emotional and psychological agony, which can often be far more devastating. Now we arrive at a question that has troubled thinkers for centuries. It is a question of cosmic justice. Is it fair? Does an infinite punishment truly fit a finite crime? Think about a human life. Even the longest life is just a brief flicker in the grand expanse of time. Let us say a person lives for 100 years. During that century, they may make mistakes. They may commit sins, some small, some grievous. The scales of justice seem impossibly broken. It is like trying to weigh a single grain of sand against the entire universe. No matter how heavy that grain of sand is, it cannot balance the scales. This moral problem has led many to question the nature of a just and merciful God. Some theologians have argued that any sin against an infinite God warrants an infinite punishment. The gravity of the crime is measured not by the perpetrator, but by the one who is wronged. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, in his famous play, offered a startlingly modern vision of hell. For him, hell was not a place of fire and brimstone. It was a simple room from which 3 deceased people could not escape. Their torture was not inflicted by demons with pitchforks. Their torture was each other. The Italian poet Dante Alighieri, in his epic poem, gave us one of the most detailed and enduring images of hell in Western literature. Dante's hell is a highly structured place, a massive funnel-shaped pit with 9 concentric circles of torment. The philosopher John Stuart Mill, a proponent of utilitarianism, argued that actions should be judged by their consequences. An infinite punishment for finite sins would create an infinite amount of negative utility or suffering, making it the most immoral concept imaginable. The concept of universalism proposes that all souls will eventually be reconciled with God. In this view, hell is not an eternal destination but a temporary purifying state. To better understand the horror of an infinite punishment, let's move away from grand cosmic ideas and turn to a simple, relatable analogy. Imagine you are in a quiet room. In the corner, there is a faucet, and from it, a single drop of water falls into a metal bucket every 5 seconds. Drip. At first, it is just an annoyance. After an hour, it becomes irritating. After a day, it starts to wear on your nerves. The sound is monotonous, relentless, and inescapable. It drills into your consciousness, a tiny, persistent torment that you just cannot ignore. Now imagine you are told you must stay in this room, listening to that drip, for the rest of your life. Every second of every day for 80 years, the thought is maddening. The sheer, unending repetition would be a form of psychological torture. But we are still thinking in finite terms. The traditional concept of hell asks us to take this analogy and stretch it into forever. You will listen to that drip, not for a lifetime, not for a million years, but for an eternity. What can modern science tell us about the limits of endurance? While we cannot study eternal damnation in a lab, we can study how the human brain and body respond to extreme stress and trauma. Neuroscience and psychology have shown us that our minds have powerful defense mechanisms. When faced with overwhelming physical or emotional pain, the brain can sometimes shut down. People might dissociate, feeling as if they are watching events from outside their own body. In George Orwell's novel 1984, the infamous Room 101 is a personalized hell. It is a place where a person is confronted with their single greatest fear, the one thing they find truly unbearable. The Matrix film series presents a world where humanity is trapped in a simulated reality, their bodies used as a power source. In an episode of the show Black Mirror titled White Christmas, a character's digital consciousness is subjected to thousands of years of solitary confinement in a matter of minutes in real time. Our journey has taken us through fire and philosophy, through science and stories. We have circled one of humanity's most daunting questions, the nature of unbearable eternal suffering. We have seen how different cultures have imagined it, how philosophers have debated it, and how science challenges its very possibility. We are left standing before a profound mystery, a concept that strains the very limits of our imagination and our morality. What do we believe about justice? What do we believe about mercy? Perhaps the true purpose of contemplating hell is not to frighten us into obedience. Perhaps its value lies in the questions it forces us to ask about ourselves. When we imagine a state of absolute hopeless suffering, we are instinctively repelled. Our sense of empathy cries out against it. Empathy is the ability to feel with another being, to understand their pain as if it were our own. Is justice purely about retribution, an eye for an eye that continues forever? Or is justice about restoration, about balance, and ultimately about creating a better world? By reflecting on this, we are invited to consider the nature of justice in our own lives and our own societies. We are encouraged to seek solutions that heal rather than simply punish, to build systems that offer hope rather than despair. In the end, the question of hell's unbearable limits may be unanswerable. It lies beyond our experience, beyond our comprehension, but the act of asking the question is what matters. And perhaps by staring into this imagined abyss of endless suffering, we can learn to better appreciate the value of compassion, the importance of hope, and the profound moral responsibility we have to reduce the suffering that exists in our own finite, precious world.